this video, I am going to show you how to complete challenge number 2, picture in picture. You're going to make something similar to what you see here. So you're going to take an image, you're going to remove the color to make it black and white. You're going to create a rectangle with a smaller image inside that will be colored. You will add a border around it, which is called a stroke in Photoshop. And then I don't know if you can see in light gray here, you will also add a drop shadow. We'll also rotate the image. So what are we going to be learning in here? You're going to learn how to adjust color, add a border and a drop shadow, rotate an image, and create what is called a clipping mask. You'll clip out part of the picture to make it smaller, okay? First thing you have to do, you have to go to Google, you have to find an image, okay? It doesn't have to be a person. I like tennis and I like Carlos Alcaraz, so I used him. Once you find your image, so once you do your search and you find your image, click on it to make it bigger. Over here on this one, don't right click on these little ones. Make it bigger. You can float your mouse and see what the pixels are. Anything over 1,000 is decent. If it's below 1,000, it's probably not a great quality image. Doesn't mean you can't use it. It just might be small or pixelated, okay? You're going to right click. You're going to choose Save Image As. You can save it to your Google Drive, to your ET folder if you'd like. I'm just going to put mine in my Downloads folder because it makes it easy for me to find it. Okay. And now I'm going to go into Photoshop. I'm going to click the Open button in the top left corner underneath New File. You may have to, there might be a pop-up that comes up that asks you where you're going to locate that file. In the bottom left corner of that pop-up, it's going to say on this computer. Click that. It'll bring up this box. Click on your Google Drive if you saved it to your ET folder or your Downloads folder, wherever you saved it. Find your image. Click Open, and it should open. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this image, our layer, and we're going to call it small. So go to your layer section in the bottom right corner. You'll see it says background. Right click in the gray area, say duplicate layer. I want you to name it small, S-M-A-L-L, and then click OK. Okay, I want you to hide your small layer just for a second. The way you do that is there's this little eyeball. Click on your eyeball so it's hidden. Take your mouse, select your background layer. Make sure your background layer is selected. Okay, down in the bottom right corner below your layers, there's a little toolbar with a bunch of tools. Find the one that's a half circle. That's called your adjustment layer. Go ahead and click on that half circle and choose the words black and white. You should notice all of the color is removed from your image. Okay? Notice we have 3 layers now: small, black and white, and background. Make sure your small layer is above your black and white layer. If your small layer is below it, your small layer is going to be black and white too, which we don't want. So make sure your small layer is at the top, and then you can go ahead and unhide it, and you should see color again. The reason you're seeing color is because our small layer is on top. If you hide your small layer, we see the black and white background. If you unhide it, you'll see the color. Okay, so that's pretty important. All right, so we've already done steps 1, 2, 3, 4 there. Making black and white, we've already done all 6 of those. We are ready to go to the part that says creating the smaller image. Okay, unhide the small layer by clicking on the eyeball. We should have done that already, but if you didn't, make sure you can see the color layer. Step 2, from the toolbar, click the rectangle tool, and then don't draw your rectangle yet. We're going to go ahead and customize the shape, the color of our fill color and our stroke color before we draw our rectangle, okay? So go back to Photoshop. On your toolbar, going down the left, down towards the bottom, you're going to see this like gray rectangle here, okay? So go ahead and click on it. When you click on it, you're going to see a toolbar going across the top. Make sure that this word says shape over here at the top. It should already. For your fill color, mine is already set, but you're going to click this black rectangle. And up here in the top right, click this color, and you're going to want to move it to black, which is all the way in the bottom left corner. Your color should be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, click OK. Under stroke, stroke is the outline of our rectangle. We don't want an outline at all. So if you look in the top left, you're going to see a white rectangle with a red line through it. That means no stroke. So click on that. Okay. I'm just going to click up here in the gray section just to close this little box. And then you're going to take your mouse, and it doesn't really matter the size and shape right now because you can adjust it later. But if you have an idea of what part you want to use as your little picture, Go ahead and draw that. Okay, and it should be this black rectangle covering up your image. And again, don't worry about the shape and the size right now or the location. We can fix that in a later step. So just leave that the way it is right there, and then let's go back to our instructions. Okay, drag across. Okay, we just did steps 1, 2, 3, 4. And, okay, we did that. Okay, step 5. In the layer section, drag the rectangle layer so it's above the small layer. Make sure it's at the top. And then select your move tool from the top layer, and then we're gonna, in the layer section, adjust our opacity to 50%. Okay, so here's where we're gonna go back. Make sure your rectangle layer is at the top. Mine already is, so we're good. I'm gonna go to my toolbar, and I'm gonna click my move tool at the top, so my move tool is selected. Now, right now I really can't see exactly what part of my image will become small. So one way that we can kind of customize this so we can actually see our image is over in the layer section at the top. You're going to see the word opacity. We've talked about this before. Opacity is basically the transparency or seeing through and I don't want to say an image, but how much transparency something has. So right now, our transparency of our rectangle is set to 100%, which means we can't see through it at all. So I'm going to adjust it down to just about 50%. If it's not exact, that's fine. Somewhere in the range so we can still see a little bit of our black and we can see our image. And then I want you to drag your rectangle to exactly which part you want showing in your little picture, and use your sizing handles to adjust the size if you want to make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want to do. So make sure that your little rectangle shows exactly what you want in your little picture. What do I mean by that? This little picture right here that's going to pop out of your image. Okay, so decide which part of that little image you want showing right now. Okay, once you are happy with the size and the location, you can change your opacity back to 100%. You can click this check mark if you want. That just accepts your changes. Okay, and now I think we're going to start our border. So let's see what we're going to do next. We did that in the layer section. Oh, this is important. Step 9. And then we're going to clip it. I guess this would be important. In the layer section, drag the small layer so it's above the rectangle layer. Right click on the small layer and create our clipping mask. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's take our small layer, drag it to the top. Make sure your small layer is in the top. Right click on your small layer and say create clipping mask. Okay, it doesn't really look like something happened, maybe on some of yours, but notice I have some color and then I have some black and white, right? The black and white is the old image, the color is the small image. If I went to move right now, you can see I can move that, whoops, it's kind of jumpy, but I can move that small image, okay? All right, let's leave it like that for right now. Let's go back to the instructions. I probably messed it up a little, but that's okay. I can do Control Z if I wanted to, but I'm going to leave it. Okay, we are in the part here, creating the border and drop shadow. So in the layer section, we have to select the rectangle again, the rectangle. In the bottom right toolbar in the bottom right corner, we're going to select FX and then stroke. Remember, stroke is like what we call outline in Photoshop. Okay, so again, first select your rectangle layer. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop. I'm going to go to my layer section. I'm going to select my rectangle. Okay, in the bottom right corner, find the letters FX, that stands for Special Effects, and go to Stroke. Okay, you're going to get a pop-up. In Photoshop, the pop-ups usually pop up directly over your image. What I like to do is put my mouse in this white bar that goes across the top, and I drag it over to the side so I actually see what's going on. Make sure the position is inside. You can adjust the size of your border to however thick you want it, and then you can also adjust the color. So what color do you want your border to be? So let's say if I go white, you can see it changes to white, or whatever it is that you want your color to be. I was kind of trying to match a shirt a little bit, so you can do that. Okay, once you're happy with it, you click OK. Don't close out of this box yet, because if you look at this list, there are a bunch of different things that we can do. We're going to also add a drop shadow. So if you look at the bottom, you might have to click on it twice, but you're going to open drop shadow. You can adjust the opacity so you can kind of see the shadow behind. I'll make it a different color so you can actually see it better. See, now you can see my drop shadow, right? Okay. You can adjust how the opacity or how see-through your drop shadow is. the distance that it is from your original frame, how spread out it is. Okay, that didn't really change a whole lot. The size, how big you want it to be. Okay, or the angle, where you want it to be. Do you want it the top, bottom, left, right? Where do you want your drop shadow to be? Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and click OK when I'm happy with it. Okay, we're not done. Okay, we just did this whole part. Okay, now we're going to rotate and move our image. The first thing we have to do is group our two together. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Go over and take a look at your layer section. Right now my rectangle layer is selected. I can tell because it's like gray right here. Hold Control on your keyboard. Hold down Control on your keyboard. While you're holding Control, click in the gray section next to your small. Now notice they're both light gray. On your keyboard, do Control G. That will group those two together. Okay? Now, make sure your group is selected. Go to your Move tool on your toolbar. You can move this little layer wherever you want to go in your image. So wherever you want to place the little image, go ahead and place it. And then I'm going to put my mouse over any of the little white sizing handles. It doesn't matter which one, but if you hold it up a little bit above it, you're going to see your mouse turn into a double-sided arrow. That gives me the ability to rotate my image. So you can rotate it in whatever direction you want, as much as you want. I'm going to click the check mark. You can move it wherever you want, whatever you want to do with that image until you are happy with it. And then this is what a final document should look like. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything. Yep, we're ready to save and to turn in. So when you are done, the first thing you're going to do is save. Remember, save is for your benefit, okay? You're saving it so that if you need to get back in here, you can get back in here and change things. And I would always save it to the Adobe Cloud, so File, Save As. Okay, I don't know what that is, but whatever. Okay, so I'm going to name this Challenge 2 Picture in Picture. You can just name it Challenge 2 or whatever you want to name it. I'm going to say Save to Cloud Documents. Make sure that it's saving to your files. I'll show you how to get to your files in just a moment too, because I think that'll be pretty important. Now to turn it in, you have to export it as a PNG. You are not ready to turn in yet. You have to go to File, you have to go to Export, Quick Export as PNG. I would, if I were you, go to your Google Drive, go to your ET, go to my drive, go to your ET folder, save it there, and then go into Canvas, click on the rocket ship, find your file, and turn it in. I'm just going to quickly go back home. Over here, the things you see right here, they are not in your file. These are just the last few documents that you've used. So they are not actually saved. If you actually want to see what is saved to your files in this list over here, you have to go to Your Files, and then you will see the stuff that is actually saved. This stuff that's on your home screen, it's just easy access for you, your most recent files. Photoshop deletes those every so often. So don't count on your files always being here. Make sure that you are saving to your files, okay? That's really important. All right. Hopefully you did okay with this. Let me know if you have any questions.